Okay, students, good morning to all of you. So, welcome to the key discussion of Biology 2020 NEET, okay, which happened on this last Sunday. So, let us start with the discussion of question paper. So, I am going to deal with the G5 code question paper. So, the first question goes like this. If the distance between two consecutive base pairs is 0.34 nanometers and the total number of base pairs of a DNA in a double helix in a typical mammalian cell is 6.6 into 10 to the power of 9 base pairs, then the length of the DNA is approximately. So this is the question basically from our cell. We can consider it as a cell biology question or a molecular biology question. So this point is very clearly mentioned in our NCERT textbook, and the answer will be 2.2 meters. Even this value is very clearly mentioned in our textbook. In a mammalian cell, the approximate length of DNA will be 2.2 meters. Then moving to the next question, bilaterally symmetrical and acoelomate animals are exemplified by. So this second question is coming from our Animal Kingdom chapter. So, in this, the most keyword we need to remember here, that is acoelomate. So, coelom is nothing but a body cavity. All of us known about that. Okay. So, based on coelom, generally animals are classified into three different categories as coelomates, pseudocoelomates, and acoelomates. So, acoelomate, under acoelomate, remember very well, Platyhelminthes is the only phylum comes under acoelomates. So that is the keyword we need to understand here. So only acoelomate, only one phylum, that is Platyhelminthes. Then moving on to the third question, match the following and columns and select the correct option. So in this third question, so if we look at the column 1 and column 2, here some of the respiratory organs and some of the special mechanisms involved in various animals are given on one side, and on another side these characteristic features are observed in which animal. So this is what the question here. So let us start with this gregarious polyphagous pest. So here the characteristic feature is about some pest which is a polyphagous. So what is the meaning of polyphagous? Means which can eat and which can feed on variety types of food. Okay. So a pest which is a polyphagous. So if we try to find the type of pest in these columns, Locusta is the pest which feed on different varieties of food substances. And if we go for the second one, adult with radial symmetry and larva with bilateral symmetry. So in adult condition it is radial symmetry. So radial symmetry in the sense, so we can divide the body into two parts from any radius. That is what radial symmetry. And larva, so from adult, larva is again showing some variation. That is bilateral symmetry. So bilateral symmetry means either vertically or horizontally we can divide that animal into two parts. So that is what bilateral symmetry. So these two conditions, so radial symmetry condition in case of adult and bilateral symmetry in case of larva. So these type of conditions where we can observe. Okay. So let us say this is we don't know. So pest we know Locusta. So A4. So if we go through the options in under A, the first option, only first option showing 4. So blindly you can mark this as an answer. And book lungs, if you have read thoroughly the textbook, the respiration chapter about breathing and exchange of gases, there it is mentioned very clearly. Book lungs are observed in scorpion. Okay, book lungs are the type of respiratory organs observed in scorpion. Because why we call them as book lungs means due to their broader extension. Okay, so the surface of the scorpion will be broader. So the entire surface of the scorpion, when it is moving on the surface, easily it can absorb more air. That's why a broader and stretched type of lungs system is arranged in scorpions, that is called as book lungs. So even for book lengths we can observe C as 2. Okay, and again with these two things we can blindly go for this option. Then moving on to the next question. Which is the important site of formation of glycoproteins and glycolipids in eukaryotic cells? Okay, so here many of us, when we see the terminology proteins and lipids, so many of us will get confused definitely, and we will be opting the option endoplasmic reticulum. But please remember, in case of endoplasmic reticulum, there is a particularity. Okay, there is a particularity under endoplasmic reticulum. RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum, produces or synthesizes proteins. SER, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, synthesizes lipids. But here they asked for glycoproteins, proteins along with sugar. Okay, so glyco in the sense sugar here, protein along with sugar, and lipid along with the sugar. So glycoproteins and glycolipids. Okay, there is a particularity. So glycoproteins and glycolipids are not synthesized by endoplasmic reticulum. They are synthesized by Golgi bodies or Golgi apparatus. So even this statement, the synthesis or formation of glycoproteins and glycolipids by Golgi bodies, is very clearly mentioned in our NCERT textbook. Okay, then moving on to the next one. QRS complex in a standard ECG represents. So all of us know what is ECG clearly. Okay, so this ECG will be talking about the rate of our heart functioning. Okay, so this ECG, this QRS complex. So the graph which indicates like this. Okay, so QRS. So this QRS complex, where we can see, when we can observe in the ECG, when we can observe this type of QRS. So if we go through the options, so here the first one comes depolarization of auricles and depolarization of ventricles. This becomes our answer, depolarization of ventricles. So now what is depolarization of ventricles? So initiates, so depolarization of ventricles, it initiates ventricular contraction. So how we can observe this QRS complex during ECG is given here. So initiates ventricular contraction. So when contraction starts, shortly after Q, and that marks the beginning of systole. Okay, so this is what we need to understand, how the QRS complex is formed during the ECG program, and what is depolarization of ventricles means. This is the statement we need to understand. Okay, then moving to the next match the following. So again, this is also a memory based question. Okay, so most of the questions which came to the paper are memory based. If you people have read thoroughly the textbook for at least minimum 5 to 6 times, so many of the questions are very direct from the NCERT textbook. So coming to this, so here some arrangements. Okay, some arrangements like floating ribs. So generally the 11th and 12th free ribs, okay, which are not attached to the sternum. Okay, so all these things, if you have read the textbook clearly, you can answer these things. So floating ribs, so A, do not connect with the sternum. The 11th and 12th ribs are generally called as floating ribs. Okay, so for A, 4. So even here also you can use the same technology. So under A, only once 4 is given. Okay, so option 3. So please remember this type of techniques for future usage also. So we can easily solve out match the followings even if we know just one option, particularly if we know correctly, we can answer the match the followings. Okay, so floating ribs do not connect with the sternum. Then acromion. So B is 3. So which is seen in clavicle. Okay. Then scapula. C under 1, located between 2nd and 7th ribs. So if you go through the arrangement of ribs from 1st to 12th ribs, so all these terminology are given very clearly in our textbooks. Okay. So then moving to the glenoid cavity. So cavity, there itself it is very clear. Cavity means some empty space, some space. Okay. So glenoid cavity D, it is showing for 2, head of the humerus. Okay. So all these are just memory based things. Okay. Then moving to next question. Experimental verification of the chromosomal theory of inheritance was done by, again this is also from our genetics chapter. Okay, principles of inheritance and variation. So chromosomes chromosomal theory, which is proposed by T.H. Morgan, Thomas Hunt Morgan. Okay, so Suter and Boveri actually they didn't propose any theory. They given about the chromosomes presence in the cells. Okay, then Mendel, who conducted the basic experiments of genetics. So here ultimately Morgan is the answer. Then the next statement, the next question is about identify the incorrect statement. So incorrect in the sense wrong statement. Which was the wrong statement? And that too here they asked something about sapwood. Okay, so if you remember, this is from first year syllabus, that is anatomy of flowering plants. So in case of anatomy of flowering plants, we learnt about that secondary xylem formations. So that secondary xylem formations will be giving rise to 2 different types of foods. One is sapwood and one is heartwood. Okay. So now let us see the statements and let's decide which is the incorrect statement. So first statement, sapwood is involved in conduction of water and minerals from root to leaf. Yes, exactly. Because sapwood, the name itself suggests us, sap means liquid-like thing. Okay, so sapwood is involved in conduction of water, means absorption of water and minerals. Okay, then sapwood is the innermost secondary xylem and is lighter in color. Here, the most wrong thing. Okay, please identify the wrong thing here. Innermost secondary xylem. Already secondary xylem is formed. From there, sapwood and heartwood are being arranged. Okay, so how we can say it is a secondary xylem? So this word is the key word to identify this statement as a wrong statement. Of course, it is lighter in color, but it's not a secondary xylem. Okay, so if we go through the other 2 statements also, deposition of secondary metabolites like tannins, resins, all oils, all these things can be observed in our sapwood. Okay, even heartwood does not conduct water. Yes, heartwood is a hard, means very harder one. Okay, so it doesn't conduct, it cannot uptake water. So all the statements are correct except the statement number 2. So that's why it became our answer. Then moving to the next one. So here different types of glands present in our body in one column and another column. If they fail to deliver their functions properly, if they are becoming abnormal, so what would be the occurring diseases under another column? So pituitary gland. So from the earlier classes itself we know master of all the glands. Pituitary gland is called as master of all the glands. So if it fails to function, okay, if it fails to deliver what it has to deliver, then here A, okay, diabetes insipidus. So diabetes insipidus is a disease where the patient will feel intensive thirstiness. Okay, so he will be keep on drinking the water. When the water incoming, water intake is more in number, more amount, then automatically what happens? High urination will also seen. Okay, so intense thirsty and high amounts of urination is seen in case of diabetes insipidus. So this disorder is occurring due to the failure of this pituitary gland. So what is happening exactly in case of pituitary gland means, so pituitary gland here, when it is failure, then it is going to cause this diabetes insipidus. Then next one, thyroid gland. So all of us know in the tracheal part. So in the tracheal region this thyroid gland is present. So when this thyroid gland is abnormal. So B becoming 1, that is Graves' disease. So what is this Graves' disease means? When thyroid gland is overproducing the hormones. Okay. So whatever may be the concentration, general concentration, if thyroid gland is going to produce more amounts of hormones, then this Graves' disease is going to be caused. Okay. Then and also Graves' disease is generally observed in women. Most of the times observed in women, and those women are also below the 40 years. Okay, 40 years of age. Okay. Then adrenal glands. So if these adrenal glands are becoming abnormal, then a disease namely Addison's disease is going to cause, and this Addison's disease is due to the failure of adrenal glands. So insufficient amount of cortisol and aldosterone. So if inside the body these cortisol and also aldosterone, when they are not synthesized as a sufficient ones, then this Addison's disease is seen. Okay. So all these again, this is also purely based on your memory. Okay. Then moving to the next question, it is also an MTF, and this MTF match the following is totally depend on our biotechnology chapter. Okay. So Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay, it is a bacillus bacteria which produces cryproteins. So due to this cryproteins toxicity, these are toxic proteins which are made pest resistant crops in case of cotton, okay, and other varieties. Okay. So for Bacillus thuringiensis, cryproteins, crystalline proteins which are toxic in nature. Thermus aquaticus, it is also again an archaebacteria which can survive in hot water where the temperature would be around 100 degrees Celsius. So this Thermus aquaticus is used in PCR reaction. Okay, PCR technique will be using this Thermus aquaticus as a polymerase enzyme to produce more number of similar genetical copies. We will be using this Thermus aquaticus. Then Agrobacterium tumefaciens, it is used as a cloning vector. So many of the dicot plants will be attacked by this Agrobacterium tumefaciens. So in it we will be seeing something called as TI plasmid, tumor inducing plasmid. So this TI plasmid is altered under genetic engineering techniques, and this TI plasmid is used as a cloning vector to introduce the alien genes or foreign genes into plants. Okay. Then moving to the next one, Salmonella typhimurium. So here, if you remember, Robert Hire and Stanley Cohen, so they both constructed the first rDNA by using Salmonella typhimurium and E. coli bacterium. Okay. So Salmonella typhimurium is used in construction of first recombinant DNA. So our option 1 becomes our answer. Then the next one, 11th question, identify the substances having glycosidic bond and peptide bond respectively in these structures. So remember always one key point, glycosidic bond. So glycosidic bond is always formed between one sugar and another sugar. Okay, one sugar and another sugar, glycosidic bond. Peptide bond, it is constructed always in case of proteins. Okay, polypeptide. Why we will call it a protein as polypeptide? Because many number of peptide bonds are present in a protein, right? So you can observe the same thing. The polypeptide chain is synthesized after translation. At the end of translation process, we will be seeing a newly synthesized polypeptide chain. So if we observe here, glycerol is a fat, trypsin is a amino acid, cellulose, even though it is a polysaccharide, but lecithin again it is a fatty acid. Chitin, even though it is a polysaccharide, but again cholesterol given as a fat. So just now we told the logic, glycosidic will be seen in sugars, inulin, okay, and peptide is seen in case of protein. Okay, so you may have the question here. So whether to consider insulin as a protein or a hormone. So all proteins or hormones or enzymes, just they made up a group of amino acids. Okay, so here glycosidic bond is observed in inulin, peptide bond is observed in insulin. Then moving to the next question, 12th question. Name the enzyme that facilitates opening of DNA helix during transcription. Here, almost many of the students in the hurry definitely they would have answered DNA helicase, because DNA replication starts with the unwinding of DNA with DNA helicase. But please be concentrate in writing entrance exams. Okay, in entrance exams they will be twisting the question. If you observe, they ask for transcription process, not replication process. Okay, in case of transcription process, DNA helicase won't start the unwinding of DNA. In case of transcription, RNA polymerase will be unwinding the DNA strands. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky question. Okay, if you are in hurry, definitely you are going to answer wrong this question. Next, moving on to the next question. The head of cockroach is removed. It may live for few days because. So even after removing the head, how can a cockroach live for few more days? So here the major term, the major clue term, key term you need to remember, that is ganglion, which is simply we can understand as a brain, ganglion. Okay, so general terminology, in general sense, in common sense, when we can confirm a living organism as a dead means when its brain totally stops its working, functioning, then only we can say. So if the brain is dead totally, then we can confirm that living organism as a dead one. So here, in case of cockroach, what happens? Let us say this is the head, which consists one ganglion, and this is the body, consists many ganglion like this. Okay. So here, after removing the head, okay, so this part becomes separate from this part. But still, what happens? This ganglion, when they are able to receive oxygen and some other things, then this ganglion can keep on this body part as activate. So when these ganglion are totally going to stop their functioning, then up to then this body part, even without head, it can be surviving, it can be living as it is. So when these ganglion will be stopping, then the total body will be considered as dead. Okay, then so here the option 2 becomes our answer. The head holds a small proportion of nervous system, just now I told you. Okay, so of a nervous system, while the rest is situated along the ventral part like this. Okay, then moving to the next question. Select the correct events that occur during inspiration. So inspiration, during inspiration, what are the correct events? So all of us know, taking of oxygen, intaking of oxygen in the breathing process is called as inspiration. So if we observe the options, contraction of diaphragm, the part which is below to the chest cavity or below to the lungs. Okay, so contraction of external intercostal muscles, so which plays a crucial role in the contraction of muscles, intercostal muscles. Then pulmonary volume decreases. Actually, this terminology is not at all belonging to inspiration. Okay, intrapulmonary pressure increases, even this also. Okay, so by this just we can identify A and B are the events occurring during the inspiration. So these type of beats you can answer only if you are thorough with the terminologies. Okay, so here option 4, A and B, contraction of diaphragm is very, very important, and contraction of external intercostal muscles. Okay, so when these will be contracting, okay, so they will be intaking the amount of oxygen. Okay, then moving to the next question. This is also again this is from strategies for food enhancement in question from that chapter, and this is also very, very direct question. Pisardae, which is a crossbreed which is developed from Buccaneri eels and merino rams. Okay, so very, very direct question. So crossbreeding, Pisardae. Then moving to the 16th question. So which one of the following is the most abundant protein in the animals? Very, very basic question. Even a 8th class student can also answer this question. Collagen. The first option, collagen. Okay. So collagen is the abundant protein present in animals. Then moving to the next question. How many true breeding pea plants varieties did Mendel select as pairs which were similar except in one character with contrasting traits? So in this question, they tried to little bit confuse you people. But what you need to observe, how many true breeding plant varieties did Mendel select as pairs? Okay, how many? How many selected? He selected total 14 different plants, isn't it? So 7 characters, 14 traits. So each trait will be expressed by one plant. Then our total plants number will be 14, not 7 or 2 or 8. Please remember this. Even this statement also very clearly mentioned in our NCERT textbook. Mendel has selected 14 different plants. 14 different traits expressing plants were selected by Mendel to perform his experiments. So that is the thing why we stress you people to read textbook more and more. Okay. Next, moving to the next question. The body of the ovule is fused within the funicle earth. Again, this is from sexual reproduction in flowering plants. So if you remember the parts of ovule, okay. So from placenta. So let us say this is placenta. So from this placenta, like this, a stalk-like structure called as funicle, and below the funicle, so this junction-like structure is called as hilum. So which connects the funicle and ovule to the placenta. Okay, so which is totally seen in case of ovary, inside of the ovary. Okay, so funicle is a stalk-like structure. Below the funicle, the junction, the place which fuses with the funicle and ovule is called as hilum. Okay, then moving to the next question. Which of the following is correct about viroids? This is from our first year syllabus biological classification lesson. So viroids are smaller than viruses and they lack protein coat. They have only RNA as their genetic material. Actually, these viroids causes a disease namely potato spindle tuber disease, and they were discovered by a scientist named T.O. Diner. Okay. So if you read properly biological classification lesson, this is a very direct question from that lesson. Then moving to the next question. The number of substrate level phosphorylations in one term of citric acid cycle is. So this is very important question. 28th question. Number of substrate level phosphorylations in one term of citric acid cycle. So if you properly read respiration in higher plants, okay. So respiration in higher plants, Krebs cycle, TCA cycle, or citric acid cycle. There are 3 different names for that cycle. So there, substrate level phosphorylation. Please remember, phosphorylation means reaction when it leads to the synthesis of ATP. If a chemical reaction leads to the synthesis of energy carrier ATP, such reactions are known as phosphorylations. So now here, in case of citric acid cycle, a substrate level phosphorylation. So substrate, simply to understand sugars or any substances involved in a reaction and giving rise to ATP means that process is called as substrate level phosphorylation. Okay. So if you observe the cycle very properly, TCA cycle, alpha ketogluteric acid, a 5-carbon compound. Okay. So on removal of carbon dioxide and on addition of natural oxidative agent NAD, okay, it will be turning into succinic acid, a 4-carbon compound. So here, if you observe the cycle properly from the textbook, it is mentioned ATP is synthesized. Okay, so this is the substrate level phosphorylation. So when substrates are involved in a reaction, if ATP energy carrier is synthesized, such reactions are called as substrate level phosphorylation. and such type of substrate level phosphorylation seen only once in the entire citric acid cycle. That's why here our option, okay, our option becomes so phosphorylation is 1. So one time synthesis is observed. Okay. Then moving to the next one, 21st one. So this question is from our mineral nutrition chapter. The products of reaction catalyzed by nitrogenase in root nodules or leguminous plants. Okay. So root nodule formation, when it is taking place, what would be the products? So if you go through the proper diagram given in the root nodule formation, there we can understand clearly. Ammonia, along with ammonia, hydrogen will be synthesizing during the root nodules formation by the catalytic property of nitrogenase. Okay, so atmospheric nitrogen is fixed into ammonia, and along with ammonia, some hydrogen atoms are also released there. Okay, then moving to next question. So this is from our human health and diseases chapter, second year chapter. Okay, so one side they given some different types of fevers or diseases, and other side they given about pathogens which are causing these diseases. So even here also the most familiar one for us, malaria, caused by Plasmodium. So for D, 2. So the only option 1. Under D, 2 is mentioned. Okay, so blindly you can go with this option. Okay, so pneumonia, a breathing disorder. Okay, pneumonia, typhoid caused by this salmonella. So A3, pneumonia caused by this Haemophilus influenza. Then filariasis, again one more disease caused by Wuchereria bancroft type. Okay, so like this we can solve this question, very easy one. Okay, then moving to the next one. So this is from our 23rd question from our evolution chapter, Stanley Miller's experiment. Okay, so there if you read thoroughly the textbook, this is very clearly mentioned there. So CH4, methane, hydrogen, ammonia and water vapor at 800 degrees Celsius. So this is very important, and if you observe, they confused you with the first option. Okay, so but here they mentioned about NH4, but the original product is NH3. So need to be very careful while choosing the options. Okay, then moving to the 24. This is a general little bit application question based on adenine and thymine pairing. So again from molecular biology or cell biology we can guess it. Okay, so adenine and thymine. So always remember A pairs with always T with 2 hydrogen bonds, and G always pair with C with 3 hydrogen bonds. So here they asked about the number of bonds and how many bonds will be formed in between adenine and thymine. So please remember 2 hydrogen bonds, and always in DNA A pairs with T, adenine pairs with T. Okay, then moving on to the next question, that is meiosis. Okay, this question comes from cell cycle and cell division chapter. So this question is especially about under meiosis 1, prophase 1 has got 5 substages. Do you remember? Okay, so those 5 substages: zygote, packaging, diplotin, diakinesis. Okay, so all these are substages of prophase 1 under meiosis 1. So these are some markings of the stages. So again, this is also purely based on your memory. Okay, if you had read very thoroughly the process under prophase 1, then you can easily identify. So zygote, remember zygote in the sense always which forms after the fusion of 2 things. So synapses, this is the key term. This is the way you need to remember also. Okay, so zygote means what? Which always forms after the fusion of 2 things. So because of 2 different chromatids combination there, here that process which is called as synapses. So zygote easily can be determined with the synapses. So A4. So if we go through the options, under A, 4 is shown only in case of first option. Blindly you can have the option. So if you know at least one thing among the total table, if you know one thing very clearly, match the following will make your life so happy. Okay? So that is about this question. If you go through the packeting, okay, B3, that is crossing over. Okay, exchange of genetic material in between sister chromatids. Then diploid, C stands for 2. The X-shaped structures after crossing over, the X-shaped structures are called as chiasmata. Okay. Then the last one, diakinesis, D is 1, terminalization. So the chiasmata, after formation of chiasmata, what happens? The separation of sister chromatids takes place. Terminalization. The general meaning is terminalization means end. Okay. So end of the process. So diakinesis is the last stage. Okay. So that's why diakinesis is marked with this particular terminology called as terminalization. Terminal in the sense end. Okay. Then moving to the next question. This is again from our biotechnology chapter. So in biotechnology, some enzymes are given and their functions. So here this is not the match the following, but they want correct pair. Okay, they want some correct pair. So polymerases, all of us know, poly in the sense many. So which makes many copies, but they are saying that break the DNA into fragments. So this is wrong. Nucleases, which is present inside the nucleus. So separate two strands of DNA. Just now we discussed in one of the bit DNA helicase or RNA polymerase. So these enzymes will be separating the strands of DNA, not nucleases. Then exonucleases. This is one more type of restriction enzyme which cuts the which removes the additional nucleotides from the strands of DNA. But they say make cuts at specific positions within the DNA. So actually this function belongs to endonucleases, not exonucleases. Exonucleases, what it does, they will be removing the additional nucleotides from the DNA. Okay. Then ligases join the two DNA molecules. So this is the perfect pair. This is the correct pair. So ligases are generally called as DNA ligases also. Okay. So DNA ligases, they will be forming hydrogen bonds. Okay. They will be forming hydrogen bonds. Then they will be joining the fragments of different DNA molecules. Okay. So which we learned in RDNA technology. Then moving to the next one. Very simple and straight question from our reproductive health chapter. Select the option including all sexually transmitted diseases. STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. So if we go through the options, gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes. Very direct and very simple question. All these diseases are sexually transmitted diseases. Then the next one, embryological support for evolution was disapproved by. Again, this question is coming from the chapter evolution. So this is totally depend on your memory power. If you have learnt about this person, Carl Ernst von Baer, so he disapproved that embryological support for evolution is disapproved by this Carl Ernst von Baer. So again, this is also based on your memory power. Then moving to the next question, 29 question. Roots that originate from the base of the stem. Okay, from morphology of flowering plants from first year syllabus. Okay, so many of us confused. Definitely we will be answering primary roots. Okay, many of us will be answering this question as primary roots. But remember, that will become a wrong answer. From the base of stem, originate from the base of the stem. Okay. Primary root is an embryonal axis. Primary root is an embryonal axis. It doesn't come under from the stem. Okay. So if you remember, let us say this is seed. Okay. In this seed, when it germinates, it gives rise to an embryonal axis, namely plumule. Okay, which later develops into a shoot. Okay, at the same time it gives rise to one more embryonal axis, which is called as a radicle, not radical. Okay, radicle. So radicle. So this later develops into a primary root. But here our question is roots which are arising from the base of stem, not from seed. Okay, are not from embryonal axis. So that is why English also plays a major role in understanding the questions. Okay, so even our communication skills are also important to understand the questions. So here the question is, roots originate from the base of the stem are fibrous roots. Okay, next, moving on to the next question. Again, this is also from biotechnology. So this time they asked many questions from biotechnology unit. Okay, so in general electrophoresis, separated DNA fragments can be visualized with the help of a stain, namely orange color stain, namely ethidium bromide. Okay, so after applying this ethidium bromide, we need to incubate it for 30 to 45 minutes, and then we can shift that under UV radiation. So in the UV chamber, we will be seeing that on the electrophoretic plate, we will be observing the small and larger orange colored bands. Those are nothing but fragmented DNAs. Okay, so this is the answer. In electrophoresis, we will be using the stain, orange color stain, ethidium bromide, and we will be exposing that electrophoretic plate under UV radiation for the visualization of bands. Next, moving to the 31st question. So human reproduction, second year syllabus. Okay, so which of the following hormone levels will cause release of ovum or ovulation from the Graafian follicle? Okay, so this is the tertiary structure. If you remember, this is Graafian follicle is a tertiary structure. So from from this structure, ovulation takes place in the high concentrations of estrogen. For this, if you have any doubts, if you refer the menstruation cycle diagram, the ovulation hormones responsible for ovulation, is one of the hormone is estrogen. The concentration of estrogen is shown peak there. If you observe the menstrual cycle diagram, okay, so like this a peak is given in your textbook. Okay, so here hormone which is responsible for ovulation, that is estrogen. So when estrogen levels are very, very high, then what happens? The synthesis of ovum takes place. You can go through your textbook diagram also clearly to understand more better about this question. Now, next, moving on to the next question. Goblet cells of alimentary canal are modified from, even this is also again memory based question only. So columnar epithelial cells are modified into goblet cells. So goblet cells, so what is the difference between these two? So goblet cells are sac-like structures. Okay, goblet cells are sac-like structures. Columnar epithelium is like this. There will be epithelial region, outermost region, and they will be like this. Okay, so this is a columnar epithelial cells. They are modified into sac-like structures in case of in the regions of alimentary canal. Okay, very direct question. Then moving on to next question. Snow blindness in Antarctic region is due to. This question is from our environmental issues. Okay, the last chapter of second year syllabus. So snow blindness in Antarctic region is due to UVB radiation. So inflammation of cornea. So the cornea, the part of eye, will be start showing some burning sensation or pain. Okay, why? Due to high dose of UVB radiation. Okay, so this causes the snow blindness. Then moving on to the next question. This is from our mineral nutrition chapter, first year syllabus. Okay, some list of minerals are given on one column and their functions are given on another column. So all these are mentioned very clearly in our textbook. Okay, so iron, zinc, boron, manganese. So if you have performed the second year practicals very well, and if you are thorough with the practical procedures, definitely you might have remembered this boron, because this is added for pollen germination experiment. Okay, so pollen germination is possible by the addition of a pinch of boron to the solution along with the sucrose. Okay, so that's why if you remember at least this one properly, boron, pollen germination, C2, but there are two options here. So then if you move on to any another one, chlorophyll, many times we can read that, right? We have read many times about that chlorophyll. Iron is the most important one requirement in the synthesis of chlorophyll. Okay, so A 3. Under A, only one option is given. So in that way, you can solve this. Then talking about zinc, which is required for synthesis of IAA, indole acetic acid. It is a auxin, plant growth regulator or phytohormone. Okay. Then manganese, which is required for photolysis of water. So this point definitely you might have come across in photolysis of water under photosynthesis chapter. Okay. So these are list of mineral elements and their functions. All these functions are clearly mentioned in our textbook. Next, moving to the 35th question. Again from biotechnology. So BT cotton variety that was developed by the introduction of toxin gene of Bacillus thuringiensis is resistant to insects and pests. Okay, just now we talked about this. Okay, then ray florets have. So this question is from morphology chapter of first year syllabus. So ray florets here will be having superior ovary, hypogynous ovary. So there are types of ovaries, right? So if you remember, 3 different types of ovaries: epigynous, hypogynous, perigynous. So in case of ray florets, so if you want to remember this for longer time, ray florets. Florets means petals. Petals in the form of rays. Okay, where we can see such petals. The best example is sunflower, right? So in case of sunflower, ray florets are present. So such ray florets in sunflower shows inferior ovary. Okay, inferior ovary. So this is the blind spot you can remember. Ray florets means sunflower and inferior type of ovary. Then next, again from environmental issues, the last chapter of second year syllabus. Montreal Protocol was signed in 1987 for controlling of emission of ozone depleting substances. Okay, so especially CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons. So these will be damaging the ozone layer a lot. Okay, so ozone depleting substances, emission substances, to decrease the concentration of them, many countries together signed a protocol, namely Montreal Protocol in the year 1987. Okay. Then moving to the next one, identify the wrong statement with regard to restriction enzymes. In the entire paper, this is little bit tricky. In the total paper, this is the tricky question. So actually, they asked for restriction enzymes. Okay. And if you go through the options, all of them are restriction enzymes except one. In this is the keyword. This is one. DNA ligases. Very if you have a little bit IQ, correct way of IQ, easily you will find out this. Okay. Question is about what? Restriction enzymes. Then why they need to mention about DNA ligases here? Right? So this is the little bit IQ. When you doesn't know the answer, this is the trick you need to follow. So if you go through the options, DNA they cut the strand at DNA at palindromic sites. Yes, they cut restriction enzymes. They are useful in genetic engineering. Yes, each restriction enzyme function by inspecting the length of a DNA sequence. Yes, it needs to inspect the total length of DNA. Then it needs to identify palindromic sites. Then it needs to cleave the DNA at palindromic sites. Then moving to next question, again from human health and diseases. The infectious stage of Plasmodium that enters the human body is very, very direct question. Sporozoites. Okay. Then again from human reproduction chapter, second year syllabus. Meiotic division of the secondary oocyte is completed at the time of fusion of a sperm with a ovum. Okay. So even this is also very, very important. So meiotic division always takes place before the formation of gametes. Okay, before the formation of gametes. After the formation of gametes, there is no need to perform of meiotic division, right? So that one thing is enough. That one proper thinking is enough here. Meiotic division of the secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte gives rise to nothing but oocyte, ovum. Okay, so that is our female gamete, right? So when this meiotic division will be completed means after the formation of gametes. That's all. Okay. So based on that, if we go through at the time of copulation, do we need any meiotic division? After zygote formation, it will definitely follow mitosis, not meiosis. Okay. Then prior to ovulation, before ovulation in itself, we will be going for meiotic division? No. Okay. So this is the correct option. Then moving on to the next one, the oxygenation activity of Rubisco, the most naturally abundant enzyme, naturally available abundant enzyme, Rubisco. It can accommodate carbon dioxide and it can also accommodate oxygen in its reaction centers. Okay. So Rubisco on oxygenation, what it gives in photorespiration. So if you have the idea of respiration, in case of photosynthesis, after discussing C3 plants, C3 cycle, C4 plants, C4 cycle, there is a process namely photorespiration. Generally it is called as wasteful process because generally plants has to intake carbon dioxide and needs to produce oxygen. But in case of photorespiration, what it happens? It reverses. So Rubisco will be accommodating oxygen instead of carbon dioxide and releasing carbon dioxide. Already we are also liberating carbon dioxide, and if even plants also start releasing carbon dioxide, then what is the use of this Rubisco? Right? So that's why this process, Rubisco is converting, accepting oxygen more than carbon dioxide and involved in the process photorespiration. And remember, there one molecule of 3 carbon compound, that is phosphoglycerate or phosphoglycolate. It is a 3 carbon compound is synthesized during the photorespiration process. So that is what the question there. What will be the product of photorespiration? So remember, one molecule of 3 carbon compound, that is phosphoglycerate or phosphoglycolate, is synthesized during Rubisco when it is acting as an oxygenase. Okay. So moving on to the next question. So option 1 is the answer. Then moving on to the next question. Statements true regarding phylum Chordata. Okay, so this is again from our animal kingdom first year syllabus. So Urochordata notochord extends from head to tail. Okay, so in vertebrata notochord is present during the embryonic period only. Then central nervous system is dorsal and hollow. Chordata is divided into 3 subphyla: hemichordata, tunicata, and cephalochordata. So if we go to this D statement here, hemichordata, 3 subphyla includes Urochordata, right? Not hemichordata. So this becomes a wrong statement. Then in Urochordata, notochord extends from head to tail is given. This is also again the wrong statement. Okay, only statement B and C are the correct statements which talks about phylum Chordata. So option 3, B and C are the correct answer. Then moving on to the next question. This is from our microbes in human welfare chapter, second year syllabus. Okay. So on one column they given different types of microbes, and on another column they given the products which are synthesized by these microbes. Okay. So here also, if we have a minimum knowledge, so Clostridium botulicum, butyric acid, butyric acid. So that's why we can easily remember the things for longer time. So Clostridium botulicum A2. So again, if we go through the options, under A, only one time 2 is mentioned, that is first option. Blindly you can go for that option. Okay. And Trichoderma polysporum, which produces a immunosuppressive agent cyclosporin A, okay, which is given to organ transplantation patients. Then Monoascus purpureus, again this is also a bacterium which produces blood cholesterol lowering agents, which are generally called as statins. Okay. Then Aspergillus niger, this is also again a bacterium which is which produces citric acid. Okay. So this is a fungi. The next question, unicellular algae from plant kingdom lesson. Very direct and very simple. Chlorella and spirulina. These unicellular algae, even they are used by space travelers as food supplement. Okay, so a question may come like that also. Chlorella and spirulina. So Gelidium and Glaciaria, they are not unicellular. Anemina, it becomes cyanobacteria. Valvax, it is a multicellular one and circular, spherical shaped one. And Lamina and Sargassum, both of them belongs to brown algae. They are also multicellular. Generally, they are called as kelps, massive plant bodies. Then, moving to the next question. In light reaction, plastoquinone facilitates the transfer of electrons from. So this is from photosynthesis of higher plants. First year syllabus. Okay. So plastoquinone, if you remember, the electron transportation system, it starts with PS2 always. Okay. So here electron accept or something called as pheophytin. So that pheophytin transfer the pair of electrons. Okay, a pair of electrons will be excited like this and accepted by nearby electron acceptor, and next they will be moving to plastoquinone, and plastoquinone will be sending it to the EDS system, that is cytochrome B6F complex, and from there it will be moving to one more electron carrier, that is plastocyanin. So from there it will be reaching the LHC of photosystem 1. Okay, so here the question, if you look at the question, plastoquinone facilitates the transfer of electrons from, okay, not to, okay, from PS2 to plastoquinone. Okay, so that is, then next where they are moving pair of electrons to the cytochrome B6F complex. Okay, then moving to the next question. Presence of which of the following conditions in urine are indicative of diabetes mellitus? Okay, so simply to say sugar, okay, sugar disease. So ketonuria and glycosuria, both are sugar compounds, sugar molecules. Ketos, they are also sugars, and glycoses, again they are also sugars. So presence of sugars in the urine sample, that person can be easily detected as he is affected with diabetes mellitus. Okay. Then why these residues are remaining in the urine? Why they are not absorbed means due to the failure of production of insulin in that person. Okay. Next, moving on to the next question, 47th question. Secondary metabolites such as nicotine, strychnine, caffeine are produced by plants of their defense action. Okay, so this is also again from biomolecules chapter, defense action. Okay, next, moving to next question, 48th question. Which of the following would help in prevention of diuresis? Which of the following would help in prevention of diuresis? So diuresis is a disorder where reabsorption of sodium takes place for the balancing things. Okay, so for the balancing of sodium, so what happens? The released sodium will be reabsorbed. Okay, so that's why this reabsorption of sodium and water from renal tubules due to aldosterone is prevention of diuresis. Okay, then moving to the next option, next question. Select the correct match. So here there are some diseases are given, and what is the reason for the diseases? So if we go through the table, sickle cell anemia, it is an autosomal recessive trait, which is on chromosomal number 11. So this is our answer if we go through the all options. Then moving to the next one, 50th question. This is from organisms and population chapter from second year syllabus. Which of the following is not an attribute of a population? So there are 60 different types of population attributes, like population growth, population density, sex ratio. Okay, so among those 6 listings, this species interaction is not given under population attributes. So natality, birth rate, mortality, death rate, sex ratio, the ratio of the male and female among the population. So all these becomes population attributes except species interaction. Then moving to the 51, which of the following statement about inclusion bodies is incorrect? This is from our Cell, the Unit of Life chapter from first year syllabus. So these are involved in ingestion of food particles. They are not any openings to take the food. Okay, remember, inclusion bodies are micro particles, micro things present inside the cytoplasm of cell. Okay, generally we call them as peroxisomes and glyoxysomes. Okay, they are meant for conversion of proteins and carbohydrates into simple molecules, at the same time to conversion of fats into simple molecules. They doesn't take any food materials. So that's why this is our answer. Then 52. The transverse section of a plant shows following anatomical features. Okay, this is from Anatomy of Flowering Plants, first year syllabus. So here, large number of scattered vascular bundles surrounded by bundle shape. This first statement is enough. Scattered vascular bundles seen only in case of monocotyledonous stem. Answer is monocotyledonous stem. The first statement is enough. Large conspicuous parenchymatous ground tissue. Yes, this is also found. Vascular bundles conjoined and closed. So actually all these statements are unnecessary. Just if you having a proper idea, proper knowledge, scattered vascular bundles. This one point is enough to identify, that is the given material is monocotyledonous stem. Even you might have performed the cross sections, section cuttings in your first year practicals. So even your teachers has taught how to identify monocotyledonous stem. So the given material, how you will be confirming the monocot stem means, this is the first point is the major technique, major blind spot to identify the given section cutting as monocotyledonous stem, the scattered vascular bundles. Then next one, in relation to gross primary productivity and net primary productivity of an ecosystem. So this is from ecosystem chapter. So gross primary productivity means the total primary productivity performed by all the primary producers. Then net primary productivity. So net primary productivity is the whatever the availability of productivity. Okay, the net amount. So generally gross means in total, net means available total. Okay, so gross primary productivity is always more than net primary productivity. Yes, the correct statement. If you go through the other statements, easily you can identify this. Okay. Then next one. In water hyacinth and water lily, pollination takes place by. This is from sexual reproduction in flowering plants, second year syllabus. Okay. So we talking about, when we talk about two plants particularly under hydrophily, that is Vallisneria and Zostera. Okay, so after talking about those two plants, in the same para in our NCERT textbook, there they mentioned very clearly, in water hyacinth and water lily, insects or wind will be acting as a pollinators. Okay, just like terrestrial plants. So in case of terrestrial plants, generally insects and wind will be acting as a pollinators, pollinating agents, right? So in the same manner, in case of water hyacinth and water lily, insects or wind will be acting as a pollinating agents. Okay, so again this is also purely based on memory power. Okay, then moving into next question. Which of the following is put into anaerobic sludge digester for further sewage treatment? Again from microbes in human welfare, second year syllabus. So activated sludge. Okay, so activated sludge will be put into anaerobic sludge digestion. So actually activated sludge, some part will be kept there itself, which will be used as inoculum for the upcoming sewage. Okay, and the remaining part will be sent to the next chamber, that is anaerobic sludge digester. Okay, then moving to the process responsible for facilitating loss of water in liquid form from the tip of grass blades at night and in early morning is. This question is from transportation chapter under plant physiology from first year syllabus, root pressure. So if you had gone through the root pressure topic in total correctly, so if you come across the tip of grass blades at night, so this word is enough to identify it as root pressure, and you can differentiate them with other processes. Imbibition, hard surfaces, if they absorb water, that is called imbibition. Absorption of water by seed, that is imbibition. Okay, plasmolysis, based on hypertonic and hypotonic conditions. Even you might have performed an experiment about this plasmolysis. Okay, then transpiration, losing of water in the form of vapor. Okay, through stomata. So we can differentiate in that manner also. Then moving to the next one. Cuboidal epithelium with brush border. This is a keyword. With the brush border of microvilli. Okay. Near to convoluted tubule of nephron. This question is from your excretion chapter. First year animal physiology. Okay. So near nephrons, proximal means nearby. So near to nephrons, convoluted tubule is one of the structure inside the nephron. So there we can see some microvilli, small finger-like projections. Okay, with brush borders. Okay, so this is also again directly given from the NCERT textbook. Then select the correct statement. Glucagon is associated with hypoglycemia. Okay, glucagon is a protein or sugar. We can understand it as a connected with hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia is a different one. It is a disorder not caused by glucagon. Okay. Then insulin acts on pancreatic cells and adipocytes. Will it act on pancreatic cells? No, that is a wrong statement. Then insulin is associated with hyperglycemia. No, even this is also not a correct statement. Glucocorticoids stimulate gluconeogenesis. If you again, the question is from your excretion chapter from first year syllabus. So if you go through what is gluconeogenesis exactly, there you will come across this glucocorticoids, okay, which stimulate the process namely gluconeogenesis. Then 59. So inhibitory substance governing seed dormancy. So what is seed dormancy? The inactivate phase of seed due to its unfavorable surroundings. Okay. So when the environment is unfavorable, then seed will become inactive. So that inactive stage is called as seed dormancy. So this can be which substance can govern that seed dormancy means gibberellic acid. So again, this is also from plant growth and development chapter first year syllabus. So even this statement is very clear when we go on studying gibberellic acids. There it is mentioned. Okay, GA1 to GA100. There are 100 different types of gibberellic acids. As GA1, GA2, GA3 up to GA100. So there in the description of gibberellic acids, this point is very clearly mentioned. Okay, about seed dormancy. Then moving to next one. According to Robert May, the global species diversity is about. So this is from biodiversity and conservation chapter. Okay. So 7 millions is the answer. Okay. This is also again purely based on your memory power. That's all. Then from ecosystem. 61 is from ecosystem. Given some different trophic levels and given some different examples. So this works on your minimum IQ level. That's all. So if you have a proper IQ level, you can find out which one is the basic trophic level and which one is the highest trophic level. So basic, grass, on grass, rabbit, on rabbit, on crow, vulture. Okay? So that what would be the order here. Okay? Then 62nd. The first phase of translation is very important question. The first phase of translation is amino acylation of tRNA. So what happens here? Amino acylation of tRNA. So translation is a process where mRNA will be synthesizing a polypeptide that is protein. So for this process, the first step is activation of amino acids by tRNA. Okay, so tRNA need to be activated. It need to be charged. Okay, so that is what the first step, amino acylation. Okay, so generally charging of tRNA, we will be calling that particular step as activation of tRNA or charging of tRNA. So amino acylation of tRNA. Okay, so this is the first step. where tRNA need to be activated to accept the amino acids from the cytoplasm of the cell. Okay. Okay, 63-1. This is from plant kingdom lesson. So strobili or cones are found in equisetum. So again, this is also directly from NCERT textbook. Okay. Then moving to the next question, 64. So this is also again about the different types of parts and where we can observe those parts from our animal physiology lessons. So 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits. So it is observed in cyclostomes. Okay. So animal kingdom, there is something called as a classification, right? So in animal kingdom, so there we will be coming across about this Asterichthys, Chondrichthyes, right? So types of fishes we will be observing. Okay. So 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits in case of the cyclostomes. Heteroceral caudal fin. So caudal fin means which is fin is covered partially. Okay. So heteroceral caudal fin which is observed in case of Chondrichthyes, and air bladder is observed in case of Asterichthys, and poison sting. So some fishes will have some special arrangement to attack the coming organisms towards them. So they will be piercing the body of a coming animal near to it, and they can infuse a poison to oppositely coming animals. Okay. So that the poison sting is observed in Trigon. Then some dividing cells exit the cell cycle. So again this one from cell cycle and cell division. So G0 phase is a quiescent phase where we can observe this phase, after which we can at the end of M phase, multiplication phase, means mitotic division or meiotic division is considered as M phase. So after the M phase, a cell can exist from go out from the cell cycle at the end of M phase, and it can reach a G0, the quiescent phase or silent phase. Then moving to the correct statement with respect to human digestive system. So serosa is the innermost layer of the alimentary canal. This is the wrong one. All of us know. Okay. Ileum is a highly coiled part. Yes, it is given very clearly in our textbook. Vermiform appendix arises from the duodenum. Again, this is also a wrong one. Ileum opens into small intestine. No, it is also again a wrong statement. Then 67. So this is from our reproductive health, assistant reproductive techniques questions. Okay. So here GIFT and IUFT techniques are the techniques where embryos are directly transferred to females. GIFT and IUT. Then 68. Plant parts which consists of two generations. So two generations in the sense sporophyte generation and gametophyte generation. So here A and generally called as female gametophyte because it consists of female gamete, that is egg cell, and ovule is a sporophyte. Okay. So like this, a plant part which can consist of two generations. So both gametophyte generation and also sporophyte generation. So option 3, A and D becomes our answers. Then the 69th question, dissolution of synaptonymal complex. Again, this is from cell cycle and cell division chapter. So diplotin stage, we can observe the dissolution of synaptonymal complex. Okay. Then moving to 78th one. So again, all these are, if you observe carefully, all these are internal parts of an ear. Okay. So ear internal parts and about their description. So among them, if you read properly, cochlea. Okay. B, cochlea, a coiled part of the labyrinth. Okay. So if you able to identify B, 2, only one option is showing 2. Okay. And the third option is also showing 2. Okay. Then next, if you go for a organ of Cartwright, A is located on the basilar membrane, which are audible structures. Okay. Which receives the audible things by this organ of Cartwright. So which are located on the basilar membrane. So like that, cochlea is labyrinth. Carotid is a basilar membrane. Eustachian tube, which connects middle ear and pharynx. So this pharynx is not a digestive part pharynx. Okay, this is different. This is ear part. Okay, then stapes. Stapes comes under attached to the oval window. So all these together internal structures give audible capacity to human being. Then moving to next question, 71. The ovary is half inferior. Again from morphology of flowering plants first year syllabus. So plum, in case of plum plant, we can say half inferior ovaries. Okay, so all these are examples. Okay, and then moving to the next one. Basic amino acid. There are 3 different types of amino acids mentioned in our textbook. Basic, acidic and neutral. Okay, so lysine is the basic amino acid. Again this is from biomolecules first year. Then different types of blood cells and their functions. So A, eosinophils. They release histamines and destructive enzymes. So even eosinophils will be more in count when these histamines are more in number. Okay. So eosinophils, option 3, release histamines and destructive enzymes. Basophils release granules containing histamine. Neutrophils, phagocytosis means these neutrophils are generally, phagocytosis means cell death, generally called as cell death. Okay. Then lymphocytes, then they are immune response. So all of us know these lymphocytes are the responsible ones for giving rise to T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes, which understands the antigens or foreign bodies which enters our body, and they will be releasing, synthesizing antibodies against to those antigens. Then 74. So this one again, here in this process, if let us say you don't know anything, at least if you remember from your first year, fungi cell wall is composed with chitin. Fungi cell wall is composed with chitin. So this one thing is enough to identify the answer. C, 3, only one option is given. Okay, under C, 3, only one option is given. Even if you don't know any other thing, but if you remember this basic one, okay, fungi cell wall is composed with chitin, then you are able to answer this. Okay, then moving on to next question, 75. Identify the correct statement with regard to G1 phase. Again from cell cycle and cell division. So, cell is metabolically active, grows but does not replicate its DNA. So, G1, in the cycle, the first phase is G1. So, after G1, S phase. After S phase, G2 phase. So, G1 phase, metabolically active, but it doesn't replicate DNA. If you observe the other options, reorganization of cell components takes place. This is generally takes place in M phase. Okay, and nuclear division takes place. It is also again under M phase, karyokinesis. So karyokinesis is different from G1 and S phase and G2 phases, right? So after finishing G1 and S and G2, then only karyokinesis starts, not before the G1, right? Or not during the G1. So DNA synthesis or replication takes place. This is totally about S phase, not about G1 phase. Then name the plant growth regulator with upon spraying on sugarcane crop increases the length of stem, increase the yield of sugarcane. Gibberellin. Even this is also very clearly mentioned in our textbook. If you go through the textbook, gibberellin uses of gibberellins. So this is one of the major point given there. Okay. Then identify the wrong statement with reference to gene I that controls ABO blood group. So when IA and IB are present together, they express the same type of sugar. So they want a wrong statement. So when IA and IB are present together, how can they represent same type of sugar? IA represents some other sugar, IB represents some other sugar, right? So they are individual genes, right? They are individual alleles. So that's what we will be learning as them as multiple allelism. Do you remember from genetics chapter, ABO blood grouping is considered as multiple allelism, right? So each and every allele have its own type of expression. Okay, they cannot become together and they cannot express the same thing on together. Each allele will have its own expression. That's why we call it as multiple allelism, right? Then identify the wrong statements with reference to immunity. So active immunity is a quick and give full response. So this is again from Human Health and Diseases chapter, second year syllabus. So active immunity is not a quick one. Okay, it needs to understand the structure of antigen. Then it needs to initiate its T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes. Then needs to synthesize the antibodies against two antigens. But what is the difference means it will be active whenever some antigen is entering inside you. It will be active. It will be readily influencing the T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes to understand the structure of antigen and to synthesize, to start the synthesizing of antibodies. Then enterokinase. Okay, so enterokinase we studied under digestion and absorption chapter. So this is an enzyme helps in conversion of trypsinogen into trypsin. Okay, again this is also purely based on our memory power from first year syllabus. Then 8th year from biotechnology chapter. So restriction enzyme namely EcoR1 recognizes this sequence. It is also very clearly mentioned in our textbook. So, but here please be careful. Always it needs to start with 5 prime. Okay, always it needs to start with 5 prime. Okay, so that is what the key point to remember here. Then moving to the 81. So again this is also from biotechnology and its applications chapter. So BT cotton in case of Bacillus thuringiensis, adenosine deaminase deficiency (ADA). Okay, gene therapy. Okay, RNAi cellular defense mechanism. PCR, detection of HIV infection. This is a molecular diagnostic technique. PCR, ELISA, or DNA technology are molecular diagnostic techniques we studied under biotechnology applications in the field of medicine. Okay? Then, moving to next question. Floridian starch. So, Floridian starch is the reserved food material in case of red algae. Okay? So, red algae, so this question is from plant kingdom. Floridian starch is equal to amylopectin and glycogen. Even this statement also very clearly mentioned regarding rhodophycy. When we go through the rhodophycy, there it is very clearly mentioned. Floridian starch is equal to amylopectin and glycogen. Then 83. Which of the following statement is not correct? So here they given some statements regarding insulin. The insulin, functional insulin has A and B chains linked together by hydrogen bonds. So this hydrogen bonds is here keyword. So actually they will be linked together with disulfide bonds, not hydrogen bonds. So that's why this statement becomes our answer, because they asked for not correct statement, wrong statement. Okay, so 84th question from the evolution chapter, second year syllabus. Flippers of penguins and dolphins are examples of convergent evolution. Okay, so generally they talk about. Okay, so next one, which of the following refer to correct examples of organisms? So anthropogenic action. Okay, so anthropogenic action in the sense of human-based activities. Okay, so due to human-based activities, so what are the things we can observe from this? So in this, B, C and D. So herbicide resistant weeds. So this is an evolution. If we keep on using herbicides, by some time herbicide cannot act on weeds. So in the same manner, drug resistant eukaryotes. If we keep on using drugs same wise, what happens? Eukaryotes will be getting resistance against drugs. Then in the same way, man created breeds of domesticated animals like dogs. So the higher usage or heavy dosages of using of chemicals, pesticides or drugs, organisms will be obtaining resistance against to those drugs or vaccines or whatever, and finally what happens, at some point of time those animals or those organisms will not be able to killed by these regular drugs or vaccines or pesticides or weedicides. Okay, then 86. So here again it is from our breathing and exchange of gases chapter. So higher hydrogen concentration. Here they asked for wrong statement. Higher hydrogen concentration in alveoli. Okay. So higher hydrogen concentration is the hydrogen is the keyword to understand here. Not hydrogen. If oxygen is present in alveoli, then sufficient amounts of oxygen will be transported, right? But if hydrogen present, will it able to transport the oxygen? No. So wrong statement is this one. Then going to 87th one, the process of growth is maximum during from enzymes chapter log phase. Okay, the log phase or exponential phase which gives a sigmoid curve, S curve. Okay. Then, which are the following regions of the globe exhibits highest species diversity? Amazon forest. Option 3, Amazon forest. Again, this is from our biodiversity and conservation chapter. Okay. So, worldly highest species diversity is observed in Amazon forest. Then, moving to next one, 89th again from biotechnology. So, controls the copy number of. Okay, moving on to the next question, 89th question. The sequence that controls the copy number of the linked DNA in the vector is termed. So this question is again from our biotechnology chapter and the second year syllabus. So here we are talking about the vector which carries the foreign DNA or alien DNA, and inside the vector there will be a specific site. So that site will be controlling the number of new copies of DNA. So that new copies of DNA number will be controlled by a site namely ORI site or ORI site. So ORI site, the full form is origination of replication. ORI full form or ORI site full form is origination of replication. So this site in a vector will be taking care of the production of number of copies. So replica in the sense copy. So copy of a DNA which is attached to them. So if you look at the other options, so palindromic sequence, it doesn't care about the number of copies. Recognition site. So recognition site is different from the replication site. And selectable marker. So selectable marker is generally used after the replication, not before the replication. Then coming to the last question, 90th question, this is again from our human reproduction chapter under second year syllabus. So placenta will be synthesizing HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin, and zona pellucida, it is a ovum layer. So layer around the ovum. So layer of the ovum, and bulbourethral glands. So bulbourethral glands, it generally provides lubrication for penis during the time of copulation. Then leading cells. So leading cells are the cells which synthesizes androgens, which are very, very important or crucial for the synthesis of sperms. Okay. So these are the various tissues we can understand, and or glands we can understand, and what are the functions. So option 3 will become the answer here. So this is the total explanation of the biology paper for NEET 2020. So I hope all of you understand better about this paper. Thank you.